Ever pondered the question, what happens when human error meets nuclear power? Picture the late Cold War era. The world is a stage for political chess, with superpowers flexing their nuclear muscles. Amid this high-stakes drama lies the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, nestled in the heart of Ukraine, then a part of the Soviet Union. Its 4 reactors stood tall and imposing, symbols of progress and power, supplying electricity to an entire region. Now let's turn the clock back to a day that would be etched in infamy. April 26, 1986. It was a day much like any other, but as the sun set, an air of unease began to creep in. A routine safety test was scheduled at the power plant. Little did they know, as the hands of the clock moved steadily towards the ominous hour, the course of history was about to be rewritten. As the clock struck 1:23 a.m., a routine safety test turned into a nightmare. In the blink of an eye, a standard procedure spiraled into a catastrophe. A safety test designed to simulate a power outage and help prepare the Chernobyl nuclear power plant for any potential disruptions was the spark that ignited a disaster. Let's journey back to that fateful night. The test was to confirm whether the slowing turbine could generate enough power to keep the cooling pumps running until the backup diesel generators were up to speed, a gap of about a minute. This was a test of resilience, an exploration of the plant's capacity to weather a storm. However, things didn't go as planned. A series of mistakes born from a combination of design flaws and operator error began to unfold. The reactor was operated at a low power level, a condition known to be unstable, and the emergency cooling system was disabled, a misguided decision that would have dire consequences. As the test commenced, the power level in the reactor began to surge unexpectedly. The operators, now fearing a meltdown, attempted to insert all control rods to reduce the reaction. But the design of these rods caused the reaction to increase instead. The result? An explosion. A catastrophic blast that instantly killed 2 plant workers. The explosion was just the beginning. It unleashed a deadly cocktail of radioactive particles into the atmosphere, a silent killer that would claim many more lives in the days, months, and years to follow. The immediate aftermath was a scene of chaos and confusion. The plant workers scrambled to contain the disaster, not fully understanding the extent of the danger they were in. This was no ordinary explosion. It was a nuclear disaster. The reactor, once a symbol of technological prowess, was now a monument to human error and hubris. The explosion not only tore apart the reactor, but it also tore apart the illusion of nuclear safety. The world had been shown in the most devastating way that when it comes to nuclear power, there is no room for error. The explosion was just the beginning. The invisible enemy was yet to unfold. In the aftermath of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, a far more sinister foe emerged, one that couldn't be seen or heard, but its presence felt nonetheless. Radioactive fallout, like an ominous spectre, began to spread across the city of Pripyat. Despite the escalating danger, evacuation was delayed. The citizens, unaware of the creeping threat, carried on with their lives until they were finally ordered to leave their homes, never to return. The fallout had seeped into the soil, the water, the very air they breathed. The health effects were profound and long-lasting, with an alarming increase in thyroid cancer and other radiation-induced diseases. The environment too bore the brunt of this nuclear catastrophe. Wildlife populations dwindled, trees withered, and the once bustling city turned into a desolate ghost town. The silent killer had made its mark, leaving a ghost town in its wake. The disaster was over, but its legacy was just beginning. The world responded with a collective gasp of horror and a determination to help. Nations banded together in an unprecedented show of solidarity, providing aid, manpower, and resources for the cleanup. A colossal sarcophagus, a tomb of steel and concrete, was constructed to entomb the wreckage and contain the lethal radiation. Yet the invisible scars run deeper. The long-term effects on health are still being studied, but it's clear that thousands suffered from radiation-related illnesses. The environment too bears the mark of Chernobyl, with vast areas rendered uninhabitable, a silent testament to the disaster. And then there's the policy. Chernobyl served as a wake-up call, leading to a global reassessment of nuclear safety and a push for more stringent regulations. Chernobyl, a stark reminder of the devastating power of nuclear energy when left unchecked. Chernobyl, a name that echoes the grim realities of nuclear disasters. It demonstrates the devastating consequences when safety measures fail in nuclear power plants. We've examined the catastrophe, its causes, and the immediate and long-term impacts on humans and the environment. We've glimpsed its legacy, an eerie testament to man's hubris in the face of nature's might. To this day, it shapes our understanding and approach to nuclear energy. In the face of such a disaster, we must ask ourselves, have we learned the lessons of Chernobyl?